I'm going to show you how to drop it into Dropbox. It's really easy in case you forgot. And remember that these TGAs are 30% of your grade. You need to make sure that you complete it. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about our first thing. We're going to talk about what a financial reserve is. A financial reserve is simply an account that is used only for emergencies, nothing else. You don't use it for that cool gadget you really want, or that cool sweater, or those cool shoes you want. Nope. This is simply money put aside for those financial emergencies in which you may not expect coming. Okay, and a financial emergency might be a loss of job, it may be unexpected auto repair, it could be unexpected, anything unexpected really, just anything unexpected. This is only used for emergencies. Now, financial reserves are something that you really don't worry about currently. Not yet, okay? As you become more financially independent, this is something that you probably are going to need to look into, because as you become more independent, you start having bills, you start having utilities, you start having to worry about rent or a mortgage. You have to worry about either if you have a car loan, if you need a car, and all of those things that happen with financial independence. So financial reserve is good to start now, but it's not necessarily important until you become a little more independent. If you go dive into your financial reserve, it is extremely important that you rebuild it ASAP, because just in case you have another financial unexpectedness, then you would be able to pull from that money again. Okay. So there are two types of accounts that you talk about when you're talking about a financial reserve. The first one is just a regular savings account. This is where everybody probably starts out with. When you are just beginning your financial reserve, the savings account is going to give you a little interest in your account, but it's also something that starts you off in a good place, okay, being financially sound. Some accounts do pay you interest, and I just pulled these interest rates from Wells Fargo Bank as of a couple days ago. Now, when we talk about interest, we're not talking about lots and lots and lots of interest, but it does give you something. So, for example, and you probably are going to be like, oh my goodness, but if you had $100 in this Wells Fargo account, they will pay you 1 penny. Now, if you went to a different account that you had to have a minimum balance of $25, then they are going to pay you on your $100 5 cents. Again, not a lot of interest, but hey, it's more money than you had before. Yes, they are so generous, so generous. So this is where most people start off with. Now, you do have another account which is called the money market account. That invests money in very low risk investments, very low risk. I mean, like it's dipping your pinky into some water. Not very high risk. It's not volatile where you can lose all your money. This allows you with a little better interest rates, okay? They're more predictable if they are in low risk investments. The only thing is with these money market accounts, it depends on your balance how much interest you will earn. Also, you need a minimum balance. And the minimum balance isn't just 25 bucks. Sometimes money markets require you to have a minimum balance of $2,000. So unless you have a good start, this is probably not where you're going to start, but you're going to start right here in the savings account. Once you hit a good amount of money in your savings account, you can possibly move into these money market accounts and get more interest for your money. All right, how do we calculate your reserve? So when we talk about calculating your reserve, we look at our financial planners. Financial planners are simply people we can hire to help us budget, okay? Well, the financial planners say that people need a reserve of either 3 months worth of expenses or 6 months worth of expenses. So what is the criteria for either one of those? So if you are this is the criteria for those who are establishing a 6 months worth of expenses in their reserve is if the conditions are true, if you may lose your job. So looking at your company, are they downsizing? Is it pretty good? If you are fear that you may lose your job, then 6 months you need to save at least 6 months worth of expenses. If your income is unpredictable, so when you look at maybe salespeople who work on commission, if you work on commission, you may have really good commission one month, but then really low commission on the next month. That's called unpredictable. You don't know exactly how much you're going to get paid. If you have large payments like a house or car payment, you might want to save 6 months worth of expenses. If you have a difficulty finding a new source of income quickly, if you can't rely on any of your family members for help, and you have to actually go and look for a new job, that might take a couple of months. So having 6 months worth of expenses is more appropriate. And obviously if you have a lot of unexpected expenses, 6 months worth is very appropriate. So let's look at what the criteria would be for 3 months worth of expenses. 3 months worth of expenses are if your expenses are small or optional. Okay, what I mean by optional are those things that you kind of have every month. You pay for them, but you really don't need them. They're not going to help you survive. Okay, looking at multiple sources of income so that you are unlikely to lose all your income right away. So people who are married, they probably just need to do a 3 months worth of expenses. Or people who boyfriend, girlfriend, if you share, duties, then 3 months worth of expenses is pretty much okay, because you always can rely on the other person. Also, another criteria would be, could you find another source of income quickly? Can some family members help you out if you lose your job? Can family members help you out if you have a financial emergency? So again, 3 months worth of expenses may be right for you. How do we know the difference? Well, we have to look at some scenarios. And this is our first scenario that we're going to talk about, practicing how to calculate our financial reserve account. Okay, this is going to be the first part of your TGA, so I suggest that you pay attention very closely. So let's read the scenario here. Mrs. Sepulveda just paid off her car loan. Yes. She was recently promoted to top dog washer at the groomers. Woo-hoo. She paid off her mortgage on her condo 3 months ago, but she pays child care for her 2 boys. This is her budget. Okay, so I have utilities, and that's just gas, water, electricity. Those are utilities at $500. I have car, gas, and insurance. All 3 of those are equaling $300 a month. Child care is $1,000 a month. Food for the month would be $300. And then just like the scenario said, I do not have a mortgage right now. I paid off my condo 3 months ago. Okay? So with that being said, looking at, do I have, and that's where we come back here, do I have a, do I have large payments like a house or car payment? No. Okay. Am I afraid I'm going to lose my job? No. I got promoted to top dog washer, so that can't be it. Oops. Do I have any unexpected expenses? No, not really. Is my income unpredictable? No, not really. So if I can answer no over here on this side, if I can answer no, then I am over here at the 3 months expenses. So my monthly reserve account should have 3 months. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. 3 months. Why should it have 3 months? What are some of the things that you noticed? Why should I only have a 3-month reserve? Good. Income is stable. Good. What else? Do I have any large payments? No large payments. Okay. When it says explain on your TGA, I'm only looking for a couple of sentences, maybe one, okay? Just looking at that, so no large payments. And I'm actually going to go back here, and what I want you all to do right now is to actually take a picture of this screen, because you will need to know this on your TGA, because you'll ask, what is the criteria for the 6 or 3 months? So once you've taken a picture with your phone, I want you to give me a green check. Give me a green check once that is taken picture of. Exactly, Malin. There are no unexpected payments. Excellent. Good. Those of you who are not taking a picture are going to lose out big time when you do this TGA. Ten more seconds. 10 more seconds. All right. So now we're going to total. What is the total in my financial reserve account that I should have? What is that total? So how do I figure that out? Well, I'm going to figure out this way. I'm going to take all my bills, all my monthly bills, so $500, $300, $1,000, and $300, and I'm going to add it up. When I add all this up, what should I get? What should I get when I add up all my bills for all my expenses for the month? I should get $2,100. Good try there, Malin. $2,100. That's how much money I have that I need to pay out in a month. Okay. Now, what I need to do is I need to take all that $2,100 and I'm going to multiply it by 3. And when I multiply it by 3, I should get how much? Exactly, $6,300. So that is how much I should have in my financial reserve account, because I need 3 months of expenses. And my expenses are at $2,100 a month. I multiply that at 3, I get $6,300. If I needed 6 months worth of expenses, I would then multiply $2,100 by 6. Okay, does that make sense? Good, excellent, excellent. Let me go ahead and move on. So now we're going to talk about interest. Now, interest is important because this is how we're able to calculate certain things and certain simple interest or certain on loans and so on and so forth. So when you look at interest, you first of all got to know what the principal is. The principal is simply the money you borrow or the money that is in your account. That's all the principal is, okay? So if I borrowed $10,000, my principal is $10,000. If I had $2,100 in my account, my principal would be $2,100. What's interesting is that the interest is what you pay on top of the loan. So if I borrowed $10,000, that would be my principal. Now, depending on how much the bank would charge me, I might have an interest rate of 5%. Okay, a 5% interest rate. If I had $2,100 in my account, that's my principal. And let's say the bank pays me, this would be really, really nice, but it's not going to happen, 3.5% on my money. Interest. That's how much they're going to pay me on my money. Okay, that's what interest is. there are two types of interest. There is a fixed interest, just like the word says, fixed. It doesn't move. It doesn't change. It's always going to be 5%. It's always going to be 3.5%. Okay? Or there's what we call an adjustable interest rate. Just like it says, it adjusts. And it may adjust over a period of time. It may adjust right away. It is just a type of interest that will move, okay? So for example, if I had this $10,000 loan, and let's say my initial interest rate was 5%, but after 2 years, it will be an adjustable interest rate, meaning that it could go up or it could go down. Many people this is kind of a risky interest rate, because what happens if you start paying more in interest? But some people pay less. It just depends. This is kind of a gamble here, okay? But they do offer this adjustable interest rate. So there's two, fixed and adjustable. Just look at the names, and then you'll get what kind of interest it is. All right. Because of time, I don't want to do matching. I want to make sure I get through everything. So how to calculate simple interest? Simple interest is interest gained on a principal amount that is in an account, and it is simple interest is easy to calculate. You know why? Because it is the same every year. It does not change. It's like it is a fixed interest rate, okay? And the way to calculate it is there's a formula. The beautiful thing is there's a formula for it. So L is the amount of interest. That's what we're going to find out. P kind of goes with principal, okay, is how much is in the account. R is the annual interest rate, how much you're going to get every year. And T is the time in years. Okay, is it 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it may be. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at an example here. Okay, here are some examples. You make a one-time deposit of $2,000 into your savings account that pays 4.3% simple interest. Let's break this down. What is the principal? What is the principal in this problem? What is the principal amount? Who can tell me? Put it in the chat box. Excellent, Jared. Yeah, it's $2,000. Okay, right here is my principal. Okay, that's my principal. Now, we need to find our interest rate. Okay, well, we know what is our interest? Our interest is right here. Now, here's the hardest part about this whole problem. Right here is my interest rate. Okay, the problem is I have to take it out of a percent. Okay, how do I do that? I need to how do I take it out of the percent? I need to convert it into a decimal. Okay, so how do I convert it into a decimal? Yep, how do I turn it into a decimal? Who knows? How do I turn it into a decimal? Does anybody remember how to do that? How do you take a percent and put it into a decimal? Once I show you, you're going to be like, oh my goodness, that's so easy. Good. Yes, yes. Exactly, Maylin. You move the decimal place, and you move it to the left 2 times. Okay, and that's okay. So I move it to the left 2 times. I take the decimal point, and I go 1 and 2. That's kind of really bad, but that 4 is in that first spot there. And then I put the new decimal place point right there, and I bring this around and I make this a 0. So now I have converted this into a decimal. So my decimal would be 0.043. Does everybody understand how I did that? Good. All I did was take this decimal place and I moved it twice. Okay? Now, it's asked me interest earned in 1 year. Interest earned in 1 year. So that's where we use the formula. So I'm going to go ahead and use the formula. I'm going to go L equals, what was my principal again? 2,000. Good. Time 2,000 times, what is my interest rate? I don't want the percent anymore because I took it out of the percent. I want the decimal point. Good. 0.043 times how many years? What are we looking for? Interest earned in what year? How many years? 1. Exactly. Now I just simply multiply this. So when I multiply this, what do I get? Good. Jared, excellent. I get $86. So the interest I earned in 1 year off of this 4.3% was $86. Okay? Now, what is my account balance at the end of 1 year? Well, my account balance would be $2,000, which is my principal, plus $86. So my account would be $2,086. Okay? Now, what is my interest earned in 2 years? Here's the beautiful thing about simple interest. It does not change at all. So I can take 80, I can do this a couple of different ways. I can go 86 plus 86, which would give me 172, or I can go 86 times 2, which would give me 172. Either way, it does not matter. So then I'm going to put right here $172. What is my account balance at the end of year 2? $2,172. I just add it up and make sure that you show me the math. Even though you can do it in your head, I need to see the math. $2,000 plus 172 equals to 2,172. Okay. Now, how do I find the account balance at the end of year 3? Okay, I could do it a couple of different ways. I can go 86 plus 86 plus 86, which would equal 258, or I can go 86 times 3, which would give me the same amount, $258. Once I've figured out the interest, all I have to do is then add it up to with my principal. $2,000 plus 258 equals 2,258. Okay, this is showing my work. It's giving me the answers here. This is what your problem should look like on your TGA. On your TGA, your problem should look like this, all of this. Any questions? If you understand this, go ahead and give me a green check mark. If you understand this, give me a green check mark. Excellent. I'm seeing 8 green check marks. I need to see a green check mark or a red X if you don't understand from Albert, Cameron, Dennis, B, Devon, Jeff, Kaylin, Mercedes, Millie, Missy, Tommy, I need to see a green check mark. Green check mark. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go on because of time. So let's look at another problem, just like the one we did just right now. So you make a one-time deposit of $4,532 into your savings account that pays you 2% simple interest. So let's go ahead and look at this. Where is my principal? What number is my principal? Good, David. Thank you. This number is my principal. Okay, principal. This number is going to be what? What is this number going to be? Good, but it's going to be my interest rate. Okay, but now I need to convert this interest rate into a decimal. And Maylin has already done that. So what I need to do is I need to take my interest rate, or my percentage here, and I need to remember that I have an imaginary decimal place right behind the 2. Okay, here's my imaginary decimal point. So I'm going to go ahead and leap 1, and I'm going to leap 2. I'm going to put my decimal point right there, and then I'm going to give it a circle. So my actual number would be 0.02. Everybody understand that? How I got that 0.02. Excellent. So what is my interest after 1 year? This is where I have to use the formula. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in my numbers. L equals, and my principal, remember, was 4532. And I'm going to multiply that by my interest rate, or my rate, which would be 0.02. And then I'm going to multiply it by the time, which is only 1 year. So when I do that, I should get what? What should I get? What would be my interest rate? Who can tell me? Who calculated it? Good, Alex. $90.64. Okay, $90.64. So that is my interest rate after 1 year. So $90.64. What is my account balance after 1 year? So I'm going to take my principal and I'm going to add 4532 plus $90.64, and I should get $4,622.64. That would be my account balance after 1 year. Okay, now how do I figure out my interest rate for after 2 years? Well, remember, simple interest does not change year after year. So all I have to do is come over here and I can go 90.64 plus 90.64 equals what? $181.28. Or I can do it a different way. 90.64 times 2 gives me the same answer. Okay, I can do it that way. So I'm going to go ahead and put my interest rate right here. So I have $181.28. What is my account balance after year 2? So I take my principal, $4,532, plus $181.28, and I get $4,713.28. Is everyone following me so far? Questions? Questions? Everyone's following me so far? Good. Good. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, so let's go ahead and find, and I'm going to go ahead and put my amount here, 4713.28. All right, now we got to calculate the balance for the end of year 3. So I could do it a couple of different ways. I can go 90.64 plus 90.64 plus 90.64 equals $271.92. Or I could simply do multiplication, $90.64 times 3 equals the same amount, $271.92. Everyone see where I'm getting that interest rate. Give me a green check if you do. Give me a green check if you understand where I'm getting that interest rate for year 3. Good, good. Excellent. Now what do I need to do is I simply take the principal and add $271.92 to it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take 4532 plus 271.92 and I get a nice $4,803.92. This would be my balance for year 3. And just kind of just throwing it out there, this problem is going to be exactly how you're going to see it on your TGA. It's just different numbers, but exactly how you're going to see it. But let's go ahead and, because we have a little time, what is the interest after 5 years? What is my interest after 5 years? How much is my interest after 5 years? How much did I earn off of 4532? Who can tell me? Excellent. Nice job. All you have to do is take 90.64 and you can multiply it by 5 or you can add it up. But same thing, it would get $453.20. Excellent job, everybody. You don't need to know that 5 years, just kind of seeing if you are paying attention. All right, so here we go. How do I